Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and we are continuing to power through Doom 2016. And talking about games with great personality, Republic Commando. That is a classic first-person shooter, even if it wasn't a Star Wars game, it would still be a classic first-person shooter. The developers behind that game really were able to give the game a lot of personality with its characters, while not actually damping down on the gameplay. It still has a tremendous amount of gameplay, but they're able to incorporate a lot of personality into it. Each of the Republic Commandos, of course, has really distinct personalities. And also, in any Doom game after Doom 3, we of course have to have a monorail. That name again? Monorail! When I played this game for the first time, going outside, the game tanked to 20 frames per second again. But thankfully, with the modern RX 480, well, modern when I got it, RX 480, we don't have that particular problem. And I left some of the metrics up there. Not quite as obnoxious as it was previously, but now you can actually see that we're still running Vulkan. And Vulkan is a fairly interesting API. When I first got this graphics card and started using the Vulkan API, it was kind of annoying because I had nothing that could record it. Because the drivers at the time really didn't really work very well. Relive didn't work. It just wouldn't work. I wouldn't be able to bring up I wouldn't be able to record anything. And when I finally got some drivers that did work, I still had the problem of it wouldn't record Vulkan. It just would not. It would record a little bit of it, and then the audio would be the only thing it recorded. The video would just stop for some reason, and I'm not really sure why it did that. Now, of course, it's not a problem after how many years of having this card? Ugh, you'd think they'd write drivers that work. But anyway, back to Republic Commando. You know, it's sad there was never a sequel to that because it ends on a massive cliffhanger, really. It's like, and by this point, the game came out in 2005. Okay, everyone knows that something happened to Sev. But had they actually made a sequel, you know, they should have said it after Order 66. They should never show, and they didn't in any of the novels, because I'm a big fan of the Republic Commando novels, despite people hating Karen Travis. I really enjoyed her Republic Commando series that she wrote. In fact, for the longest time, that was the only Star Wars books that I even read, because I just did not like what had been going on in the later part of the EU. The thing about Karen Travis, though, is you would think I would hate her, because her novel Sacrifice has a really important character dying off, and you would think that would piss me off, but it really doesn't. Well, put it another way, I really didn't like what she did in that particular book, but that didn't make me like the Republic Commando novels less. And ultimately, the Republic Commando novels really had some great characters in them. I had a lot of really cool events and things of that nature. And I'm glad that in Imperial Commando, we didn't see the Republic Commandos killing off a bunch of Jedi. That's the important thing. For whatever reason, in the modern era, like, people really hate the Old Republic Jedi, and I'm not really sure why. Yeah, they weren't perfect, but at the same time, it's like, okay, you're advocating the genocide of the Jedi. Brilliant. Truly, you are some high-level intellects that are quite sane. But that's people for you today. That's just what they do. Because, like, the Jedi weren't perfect, but you know what? Advocating the Jedi... Now, I don't think they quite realize what they mean when they say that. And they're all like, yeah, the Jedi deserve to be destroyed by the Sith. You know, it's like, okay, wait a minute. So we're talking about the apprentices. We're talking about the Jedi Agricultural Corps, which most people don't know existed. You know, they're a bunch of farmers that use the Force to make crops grow. Yeah, those guys, man, fuck those guys. Those guys deserve to die. I mean, they made farming and you know, like... humans don't deserve to exist, so they're evil. It's just... and then there's the whole false equivalency between the Jedi and the Sith, when that's really not true. Once again, okay, so you're gonna try to tell me that Mace Windu was as bad as Darth Sidious. How exactly would that be the case? You're gonna try to explain to me, okay, so Darth Sidious, you know, he forms this thing called the Confederacy of the Independent Systems, and then they go to war with the Republic, and billions die. It's like, Mace Windu did what exactly that was as bad, other than just be kind of an asshole? It's like, seriously now, that's the problem with false equivalency. It's like, it's really statements made from ignorance, just complete and total ignorance of what they're talking about. It's just one thing. Well, there really is one cool scene in Order 66, which is not the last Republic Commando novel. The last Republic Commando novel, if I'm not mistaken, is Imperial Commando. I think yeah, True Colors came before Order 66. But in Order 66, there's one of the ARCs, which is a Advanced Recon Commando, which is like way better than the regular Republic Commandos. Although the ARCs are supposed to be more or less straight Django, which I guess is good, but Django wasn't that amazing. You think, since he's a bounty hunter, but you think somebody as trained as him would actually understand the utility of this thing called a rifle versus just double pistols. But you know what? The man had style. You know, a rifle, that's just too boring. But double pistols? Hell yeah. But, and my phone is going off. Well, I hope it's nothing important, because I'm not stopping to record. There's gotta be somebody left alive. I guess there's some zombie left alive. And yes, that is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles NES theme. What the hell? There's nothing left alive. Well, we just ran into a glitch. This game is the glitchiest thing ever, and therefore is terrible. I guess that doesn't apply. Okay, well, I don't know what's left alive. You gotta be fucking kidding me. You gotta be fucking kidding me here. Nothing is alive. I'll make more grunting sounds. Okay. Walk down. Area security not verified. You got. No wait. Did I need to pick something up? I don't think so. I think it was supposed to open normally. Yeah. Maybe if I shoot it, it'll work. Well, that's just brilliant. Load checkpoint. Off to a bad start, it would seem. But you know, as complex as these games are, I can only assume that we're bound to run into one or two minor issues here. If it does it again, then I'm just going to have to start the record again. But back to Order 66. There is a character in there, an Advanced Recon Commando known as... Was he an ARC? I don't remember now. I know his name was Maze. He liked a lot of corn, you know. And, like, he was gonna straight up shoot one of the Jedi, but then decides not to. I remember this scene, though, quite well, where, like, literally the Jedi... Now, you would think a Jedi would be pretty powerful, right? But apparently, their powers are as the plot demands. Literally, like, hiding under his desk, terrified of being shot. It's like, you're a Jedi! It's much... It should be easy enough for a Jedi to just blend in with the general populace, but I guess not. I don't consider that particularly bad writing. You gotta remember, not everyone is going to be 100% competent. That's one of the bigger problems with places like space battles and TV tropes and stuff like that. They assume 100% competence, which doesn't really exist in real life. You know, if everyone was completely 100% competent, we wouldn't have nearly the problems we do today. So, you know, I like how that just disappears. That just straight up disappears. It's like, it's just not there after we open it up. But there is no such thing as 100% competence. While it would make sense for these various groups to do this, that doesn't mean they are going to do something, you know. So, like, it would make sense for a Jedi to like, just go to ground and blend in. That doesn't mean they're all going to do that. And that should open at some point. I think after we kill those guys up there. Assuming they all spawn in. And that's your problem with your, you know, that's the problem when it comes to these arenas, you know. It's like, we have to wait and kill off every single one. And if we don't kill off every single one, we can't progress. So when something like that happens, you're fucked. And you get to play it again. That's what... Yeah, see, now they're spawning. See, they didn't spawn in the last time. So, we were screwed. Now we have to go through it all over again. Just have some old painless. So that is like one of the biggest problems with having some criticisms of characters. Yeah, the writer should know certain things, but at the same time, that doesn't imply that the character would. Alright, now, was that enough? Yes, it was. Thank you, game.
nothing without believers. We cannot conduct our work.
Yes, yes. Hail Lord Xenu.
What kind of work is it that you're doing?
Shouldn't you know? You're the boss!
Now, have
I guess he's just kind of a hands-off kind of manager. He doesn't like to micromanage. Let's see, did that open? It should have. No, it didn't. I guess there's something I gotta... Oh, I think there's like a vent in there. I don't know, I don't care. I don't give a shit. But not every character is going to be 100% competent.
This isn't progress.
Yes, it's madness. It's madness. I wonder who called. Once again, it better not be important. I figured if it was, they'd call again, and then I would have answered. But that TMNT theme, I'm a big fan of the TMNT NES theme. It just sounds good. Yeah, I know it's not the original cartoon theme, but I just enjoy it. But back to Republic Commando. You know, you could easily make an Imperial Commando, but I'm pretty sure they'd fuck it up. There'd be, you know, like weapon DLC and shit like that. Like, have the original costumes, only $59.99, or something along those lines. But if they'd made it back then, it would have been quite good, I think. But when it comes to Imperial Commando, I'm not sure where they'd go with it. But for me, I would like to have seen Sev get brought back. Because it's not implied that he's dead. And I think there was going to have been an Imperial Commando. That's why I left it open-ended. What would have made for a really cool plot? Or at least, at the very least, what would make for a good opener? Because I don't think you could really have an entire game based around finding Sev. I think that would be kind of... It'd be too limited in scope for my taste. But now that I think of it, depending on when you... Well, it would have to be set, you know, almost immediately afterwards. Because if you set it during the Imperial era, there would be some issues with that. And smack him. There'd be a couple issues. The biggest problem with the Republic Commandos by far, even in the novels, is... They seem too important in many instances. It's like, why have we never heard of them before now? I love how I get to enjoy my Berserk, but there's nothing to kill. I hear something moving around up there. But it's like, why have we never heard of the Republic Commandos until now? Obviously, it comes down to, you know, they didn't exist until recent, but I would have preferred them to have a little lower key in the Star Wars universe, just because it makes no sense that these important commandos and their commanders and things of that nature did all this stuff, and yet, you know, after the Empire comes to power, we never hear from them ever again. That's the problem with having this retroactive continuity, which really, you know, the Clone Wars, I think, did a lot to save Star Wars for the general audiences, but at the same time, it wasn't a good idea either. Because now we're talking about the legendary Clone Wars. There's a lot of these galactic events, and also just the fact that, you know, the time scale is very shit. Yeah, the time scale is kind of shit. It's like, okay, you're gonna tell me the Empire lasted 20 years? Seriously? Because it can't be around for very long, because Luke is only like 19 in Episode 4, and it's implied that Luke is born, and Leia. Luke and Leia are both born immediately after the Empire comes to power, so it can't be around very long. And, you know, in Episode 4, it was kind of implied that it had been around for a long time. And so it kind of fucks with that, but at the same time, we get the Republic Commandos, and we get the Clone Troopers, and they're cool, because it's like, there's like the Stormtroopers, but they look like Mandalorians. Not that most people would know what a Mandalorian is, but that, and it's like, it's kind of like certain elements in this game. Its greatest strength is also its biggest flaw, in that it does kind of fuck up the continuity, you know? So it's like, I don't know. As much as I love the Republic Commandos, it really does fuck the continuity over in many instances. But I'm not going to complain too much. But in an Imperial Commando game, I think what would make for a really good hook mission is the search for Sev would make for a good hook mission. It's where the Republic Commandos have to try to find him. They go back to Kashyyyk. They need to do something like leave the Republic or leave the Empire, one or the other, depending on, you know, how soon after the first game you want to set it. And they leave the Republic, and they go and search for Sev. They go rogue. Ooh, that would make for a good title too. Star Wars Rogue Commando. I like that idea. They go rogue in search for Sev, you know. And they can go back to Kashyyyk, And when they do, why are they all just hiding from me? I'm not able to use my awesome Berserk power-up. They really got the Berserk power-up right. You know, as much as I may, you know, shit on the Glory Kill system as just being a little too pervasive, that Berserk power-up, where you literally just rip and tear, really is awesome. That is probably my favorite power-up in the entire game. Just because of how awesome it truly is. But you go to Kashyyyk, you fight some Trandoshans, and eventually you find one that's like a slave dealer, and come to find out the Trandoshans kidnapped Sev and sold him into slavery. Because I could see the Trandoshans doing that, because, you know, Sev would have been, you know, in the prime of his life and would make for a good slave, at least according to them. Because remember, they were doing some slaving in, God damn it! Doing some slaving in Kashyyyk, and you had to save all the Wookiee slaves. So, they enslave Sev. You then go to the Trandoshan homeworld, you find Sev, you bust him out, and he's part of your squad again. And that would be awesome. But then, you know, I'm not really sure what you do after that, though. That really is the question. And I just don't know what would work after that. I think that does fall into the problem of you can't really have the Republic Commandos do anything, because we already know what happens in Revenge of the Sith. We already know that nothing good happens until A New Hope, so what exactly are they going to do? I guess you could have some sort of new threat pop up, but then it's like, well, then why couldn't the Empire handle it? And stuff like that, you know. I guess what you could have, potentially, is like there's this rogue Sith, and he's gonna have, you know, some sort of secret Sith army, you know, something like that could work. But that basically is just a rip of the Empire at War series, not series, Empire at War Forces of Corruption game, where that exact same thing happens, where there's like a secret Sith army frozen in carbonite, but nothing ever happened with that though. Because like that was a big deal in Forces of Corruption. It's like they find this massive Sith army and like, well, it's never seen or heard from again. So you could maybe have something to do with the Yuuzhan Vong, maybe? That could possibly work, where they gotta stop them from, like, doing something. It's just, you have to, for the Republic Commandos to do anything, there has to be some sort of threat that you invent. You know, and it's really gonna be some kind of a bullshit threat, because it's like, well, if it was there before, why did no one ever talk about it? That's the problem with any retroactive continuity, is you just have to make shit up. You know? It's the same way with the Stargazer books. You know, you gotta give something, you gotta give young Picard something to do. And so with that, you have some sort of, I can't remember the name of the alien species, but there's the alien species that's gonna be this massive threat, and they're never heard from again, because, well, if they were, why did Picard never mention them on the Enterprise D? It's like, was it not important? It's the same way with including Han in the Death Trooper novel. The Death Trooper novel isn't bad. I really enjoyed it. But, you know, it's like, why did Han never talk about the space zombies ever again? It just doesn't work. They really didn't need to include Han anyway in Death Troopers, just because when it comes to Han, you know, he's got so many adventures already. Just give us a new character. You know, just make a ripoff of Han or something. It's like, or what I would have preferred, and they've done this a little bit. Well, they did this a little bit, I should say. Give us a Stormtrooper character. You know, I don't know why they didn't just make, if Karen Travis hadn't left, I think it'd been cool if there had been like some more Stormtrooper books. There have been some Stormtrooper books. Don't get me wrong. There of course was Allegiance, but I would not have minded seeing a Stormtrooper book where they weren't just a bunch of, you know, insane SS-styled killers, you know. That I think would have been quite interesting to read about. TIE Fighter does that. TIE Fighter doesn't have the evil Empire. TIE Fighter has, well, it does a little bit, but you, the player, aren't expected, you know, to kill a bunch of civilians and stuff like that. In TIE Fighter, you know, you're fighting, you know, pirates and stuff like that. Oh god, I love BFG Division. Is that soon? Yeah, this is BFG Division. That is my favorite song in the entire new soundtrack. I like it. You know, and I'm as much a heavy metal man as one can imagine. Oh crap, I need something a little better than a shotgun. Do I have anything? Well, I do have me a chainsaw. And I think, let's see, is there one of those little... Oh, well, fuck it. Slice them up. Oh, give me all that sweet ammo. This Doom guy doesn't have to spend a shitload of money to get some ammo, that's for sure. It's like, shotgun shells are how much? 22s cost what? I remember 22... At least 9mm are still cheap. You can still get a box at 200 for 30 bucks, but... Man... They use... Actually, no, they always cost about that same price, but a lot of ammo has really gone up. 22s have come down, though. 22s used to be way more expensive than they are now. And they used to be way cheaper. You could get a brick at like 500 for like 25 bucks at one point. And you can do that again, but then they went up because of all the panic buying and things of that nature that proved to ultimately not be necessary. Alright, now we're going to meet Lance Hendrickson, aka Dr. Samuel Hayden.
Do not be alarmed by the system update.
Hey, fuck you, Google.
Type of our interdimensional tether. A means for me to pull you back from hell. I'm sorry for the jolt, but I didn't think you'd allow its installation voluntarily.
Yeah, you're right.
Dr. Samuel Hayden, I have supplies in my office. This way, please. Save your ammunition.
Okay, so if you've got like a force field, why aren't you out there killing stuff? See, this is where shrink him down to Doom Guy size and have him be your co-op partner. I think more could be done with this guy. And I think with the voice actor and the writing, he'd make for a very interesting foil to Doom Guy. Now, if only Doom Guy could talk. I know Doom Guy shouldn't talk, but man, if you gave him a good personality, he'd be even more memorable than he is now. Or if these two guys were the co-op partners, that could work. Now it's like, okay, as you can see, Doom Guy does not fit with these two, though. It's like, okay, maybe these are like, maybe he did come from Earth, and now he fought alongside those guys. I don't know.
But I am committed to helping you close the portal. All of our work and understanding of their world is derived from the inscriptions on a large stone artifact we pulled from hell in the earliest days of the program. We call it the Helix Stone. It is our most closely guarded asset. Olivia was obsessed with it.
Of course, and again, did that allow them to make those filters and crap like that?
Hell's energy, bend it to our will.
So it's more energy efficient than solar power satellites.
Led us to
Really.
The Helix Stone showed us how to harness the power of the well.
Well, how does the well generate power? Why don't you just do that instead of just using it?
For years, Olivia has kept the Helix in her private office in the Lazarus Labs.
You know, I don't really feel sorry for you, Sammy. I mean, why did you let her do that? You're in charge.
Across the chasm.
You're an 8 or 10 foot, however many foot tall robot man. Couldn't you just roll up in there and like take it back?
Something useful there as well.
And I remember an affinity for guns. Damn straight.
End of the hall.
So now wait a minute. Wouldn't it make more sense? You're a robot man. You've got force fields. I don't even have those. Why don't you do something other than just staring off into space? What the hell, man? Do something. Oh wait, we didn't have the budget for you to do anything. He has a cool design. Very Warframe-ish though. It very much reminds me of that game. But that's one of the problems I do have. It's like, it makes no sense for him to not do something, you know? I mean, it makes a lot of sense for him to help out Doom Guy, but I guess the budget just wasn't there to implement co-op. And I can understand it being hard to program that. But I'd still like to say, Quake 1 had co-op, Doom 1 had co-op, so why can't, you know, using the space technology of 2016 allow us to have co-op? And I still say Doom Guy needs a foil. I know the whole idea of, you know, games are like porn and don't need a plot. Well, you know what? I haven't seen any naked women, so it's not porn. That being said, though, you know, plot helps. Plot definitely spices it up just a little bit, I should say. So ultimately, it would just be better if there was a little more personality. Just a little. I mean, the codex is great. I like the codex. I always enjoy these little codex things, but at the same time, I think it would have been a better game if we could have had just a little more personality from. Well, the Doom guy has some personality. It's like, oh, he beats the shit out of everything and isn't afraid of anything. But I think it would have just been better with just a little bit drastically increase the transformation time for the mobile turret. Okay, I'll go ahead and use this one. Get that one. Superheated rounds. Yeah, okay, I'll get that. And I think I can't get anything else. And the answer would be, oh, why not? I don't even use it. I think it's utterly useless at this point. Yeah, fuck it. That's enough upgrades. But I still say, give Doom Guy a little more personality, and he will be even more awesome. Give him some good writing. Pair him with Samuel Hayden. Do that and see there, Doom 2. Doom 2. You got two people. You got Doom Guy and Hayden, but don't do it. Just don't do it like Halo 2, where the game ends and you're playing as the goddamn Arbiter. Once again, the Arbiter's cool and all, but please, the Arbiter's not that cool. Don't end the game with me playing as the Arbiter. Don't make the last boss fight be with the Arbiter versus, somebody else. It makes sense in the overall plot. It works because it's implied that the Arbiter and Tartarus really didn't get along, and so it makes sense to have that. But still, it's like, come on, it's a Halo game. We want Master Chief. We want the chef, not the Arbiter. It's not shit. Smack him. We want the Master Chef, not the Arbiter. So it's all they needed to do, and they could have made it work. They could have made it work. All they should have done. Oh crap! If I knew the gun, where is the fucking machine gun? The chain gun, where? I swear, these guns are just do not have the proper order. But all you had to have done is have the final boss fight with Tartarus be right before the final whatever it was with Master Chef. I don't remember. I don't think Master Chef even had a final boss fight. I don't think did Halo 1 have a boss fight of any description? I don't think it did. I don't remember Halo 1 having a boss fight. Because, like, Tartarus very much was a boss. Fuck! Tartarus very much was a boss in Halo 2. I just can't remember if there's a Halo 1 boss. I don't think there was. The final level... Yeah, the final level was like the Warthog run, and right before that, there was no boss fight. Like, you blow up the Pillar of Autumn, and then that's it. Yeah, there was no boss fight. So, is there a boss fight in Halo 3? I don't think there's a boss fight in Halo 3. I guess, but seriously, if we can have a boss fight, don't have it be against a character. Don't have it be with the Arbiter. Ugh. Although, see, that's the thing. I gotta keep in mind that from a storytelling standpoint, that makes sense. The Arbiter and Tartarus knew each other, so therefore it has much more of an emotional impact. Still, though, and really, it could be said that Master Chief just doesn't have the capacity for an emotional connection to an enemy. Other than maybe the Arbiter himself, but it still just is disappointing to have a boss fight with somebody who isn't the Master Chief. It just isn't as good. Halo 3. Can you imagine that game is going to be 11 years old this year? Where hath my youth gone? Halo 3, I think, was perhaps not the best Halo game. I still think the very best Halo game of all will always be Halo 1. Because I think when it comes to games that get really popular, the sequels never are as good as the first one because they have less creative freedom. And I think that's one of the issues today with modern day games is there's just not as much creative freedom as there once was because it's all about the dollar signs. Not retro games, indie games, there we go. Indie games have much more creative freedom because, well, they're independent. This game is very much a good remake of Doom, except for the emphasis on melee combat and the arenas here. But I wouldn't say it's particularly creative. It's just carrying on something that has come before. And I just kind of teleported into the wall. So I think in that instance, they didn't have as much creative freedom as I think they would have liked. Because they did put a lot of good effort into the game, but I still wouldn't say it's particularly creative. I feel sorry if you're a person who worked on the game, but you have to admit, you guys weren't allowed as much creative freedom as I think you guys should have. You know, that's the thing about Doom 3. Doom 3 was more or less a remake, but they were able to be a little bit more creative with it. I think that was quite cool. I think that's the biggest problem with modern gaming in general, is they do not have the creative freedom that retro developers had, because it's all about that bottom line. I think it was created to have the glory kill system, even if it is a flawed system in many instances. Well, it's not flawed in that it's bad. It's flawed in that I think there's an over-reliance of it. But it's not something that I would have thought of putting into Doom. And it works. It does have the old rip and tear-ness to it. So I don't really have a problem with that. It's just, there's nothing in this game that we really haven't seen before. So yeah, I know that that's gonna piss some people off, but think about it. What here is really new? Answer me that. What here really has not been done before? If there is something that I missed, be sure to tell me in the comments, in addition to saying how terrible I am and all the rest. I think when it comes to another Doom game, I think really it's not, if they want to be creative with it, they need to have, I don't know what they would need to do to have it really be truly creative. There's only so much you can do when it comes to that. I don't know. That's why I'm not a game developer. Yet. Okay, let's see. And I will go ahead and, do I want more armor? I'm going to max out ammo. Just because I seem to be running low on ammo, and that armor doesn't really help that much anyway. Especially when I fall off the goddamn cliff. And I didn't. Now, one game I would love to see. Shit. Well, I guess what would really make the game creative, now that I think of it, before I get into the game that I'd love to see, is just try to focus on having greater characterization. It's Phobos from the Quake 3. Yep, Phobos got from the Quake 3, where he's like been like converted into like half a demon or something. I forget exactly. It doesn't really matter. He's just a palette swap of Doom guy, but see, that's creative. Giving those guys creative backstories in the instruction manual really made for that to be a memorable experience. Okay, and I'm trying to remember where I'm supposed to go. And shoot him. Oh yeah, it's down there. Cloud City style. Just wait for that thing to open, and away we go! I don't think we get the BFG in this level. I think it's the next one. Or it might be this one. I can't remember exactly. But one game I would love to see, that, well, I say I'd love to see it, not these days, but would have loved to have seen back in the day, back when there was some creative freedom, is Star Wars Stormtrooper. Now that would have been an awesome game. Just like with Republic Commando. You know, it's like have it where the player character is a stormtrooper, and they have to either A, fight the rebels, or B, fight pirates. That's what you can really do when it comes to the Empire. Do like a TIE Fighter, where you just fight pirates. And with the pirates, you know, all you gotta do... Well, I shut the thing off. Well, I am a brilliant, brilliant human being, aren't I? It's like with the pirates, you don't have to feel bad, because they're pirates, you know, they are necessarily evil cretins. And you could potentially have a story moment where you, the stalwart stormtrooper, have to decide whether or not to follow orders and execute some rebels, or potentially join them. That'd be really hard to program, though. Because, like, Jedi Academy does something similar, where you can either go light or dark, but it's not quite as complex as you would think. When you go light or dark, let's see, I have 4 of those little tokens. Is that really necessary? Yeah, not really. Actually, wait, no. I wanted to still upgrade something. Okay, that's maxed out. Yeah, I'll go ahead and use this. So that takes 3. Okay, there we go. But it wasn't as complex as all that. You go through the same levels, except from a different perspective. Although it does have a particularly cool ending. And it does, and thankfully they don't depower or really super nerf Kyle Katarn. Yeah, you do get the BFG in this level. Okay, I thought it was the next one. I think a Star Wars Stormtrooper would actually turn out to be pretty good. I think Battlefield 2 X2 does something similar, but I'm unsure. I wouldn't get it anyway, just on principle. But when it comes to that, though, a Star Wars Stormtrooper I think would be particularly successful, just because Stormtroopers are cool, and it'd be nice to see one from their perspective. Just, you know, and well, you can also do the TIE Fighter thing as well, where you fight rogue Imperials. That could work. Or I got a better one for you. It's where you set it after. Would developers really do that? It would make a lot of sense from a storytelling perspective, but I bet they wouldn't. You set it after the Empire has collapsed, and set it in the Imperial Remnant. There was actually some Stormtroopers in Test Fire, because why not? That will be most useful. Have it set during the Imperial Remnant, and there were some Imperial Remnant troopers in the novel Survivor's Quest, that's the one. And they were cool guys. And you could have that, where they have to fight, you know, the unknown threats in the unknown regions. Ooh, or you could have, like, the Stormtroopers set in the Fell Empire. That would work as well. I'm going to be reviewing a comic, although by the time this episode goes up, I will already have reviewed it. A comic set in the Legacy. Oh shit! Okay, and yeah, it's expulsion. Okay, and that pulls out. Oh dear! Come on, turn on. Okay, and shoot those. Oh, well, I'm an idiot. Oh, I guess you didn't have to hit all of them. Now, don't slide off. The BFG 9000. It doesn't look bad, but it just looks a little too blocky for my taste. It checks, is it okay? Yeah, it is. I still think the BFG 10K is the most awesome of them all. Just because I'm a big fan of the Quake 2s, as is well known. This is much more of a situational weapon, sadly. You don't really use it in the course of normal gameplay. It's like, oh, I wonder what I should use. Should I use that? Wow, that's a frame rate killer, that's for sure. Knock that frame rate down to 30. Yes, they all run, because everyone gets to die. See, there needs to be a little more of this. This game's plays it safe when it comes to what happened to all the people that were here. It's like, you don't really see what happens to them, which, you know, oh god. I remember this part. This is one of the particularly annoying arenas. There's always that. I will say that I will give this for the game, though. It does have a moment. In games that have a good degree of difficulty, they have that one level where it's really quite aggravating. And I missed him. I'm gonna die. I guarantee I will die. Yep, I knew it. Alright, so that is the first death. There are moments in games, as in this one, where you die a lot, and you just dread when you have to play the level. And I dread this level as much as I dread Judge Dredd. Okay, so we need to actually have the appropriate weapon to kill these things. Because I remember when I actually first played this with already off to a bad start. I actually played this just on my own time. I just died so much here. It was quite aggravating. Alright, there it goes. And this is going to be where I'm going to complain about arenas. I'm going to complain about checkpoints. Now, right here, this is a good place to save. Because, you know, sometimes just getting in the door is particularly difficult. This isn't Dark Souls. It's not supposed to be a get good or die trying or any crap like that. It's just a basic first-person shooter, and it's not difficulty that it's not... How best to explain that? It's not real difficulty, it's just in terms of mechanics. Dark Souls gets away with it because that's how it's always been. Doom doesn't, because it's like, okay, you know, if your challenge comes from the fact that you can't manually save, it's not real challenge. Alright, let's see if we can get this done without me dying every 5 seconds. Because, goddamn, this is a long-ass arena, and it's not very big. It doesn't even matter how big it is. Like, I would like to be able to fucking manually save. Allow me to quick save, please. At least it's playing good music. This is where I'm gonna die a lot. As I was saying a moment ago, recently reviewed a comic set in the Legacy era of Star Wars. That was, of course, after Han, Leia, and all the rest had died of old age. They didn't tell you how they died because that preserved the mystery. It just is assumed they would be dead after, you know, 100 years. You know, that worked. And it started some stormtroopers fighting other stormtroopers. You know, the whole fighting the Rogue Imperial thing really does work. That way you can fight the bad guys without it being particularly unpleasant. Because no one wants to play the bad guy. I mean, I suppose in this postmodernist world of ours, playing the bad guy is great. But let's be reasonable. When you're playing, again, well, like this. We're playing Doom Guy. We're not playing one of the demons. We're playing the good guy. You know, and I think that... Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that is the second death. I'm having fun now, aren't I? But you're playing the Doom Guy. You're not playing one of the demons killing innocent civilians. You're playing a good guy. And I think that's what people enjoy about playing video games. You know, it's like you get to play as the good guy, doing good things. That's why the whole concept of video game violence being this big deal just isn't what I think. It's not what I would think is a real major concern, because you're not playing bad guys mostly in these games. Like, hell, even in Manhunt, you're fighting against. You're not killing innocent people. You're fighting, you know, well, you're killing criminals. You know, killing gang members. So it's not necessarily that bad. And so it's like, it still is a really fucked up. I wouldn't say it's a really fucked up game, but it's definitely one of the more out there ones. But you get the idea. You're not playing like, it's not like you're playing Hatred or Postal. And still, it's funny how people went nuts. Well, it's funny how the internet went nuts over Hatred. Like, it is the worst game ever because you're a terrible human. It's like, really, it's like, you could actually say it's a comedy game in many instances because it's so over the top, insanely cheesy. It's like, did you forget that Postal existed? Postal 1 and 2 were just what Hatred did, but I think in many instances somewhat worse. But ultimately, you know, when you play these games, you're playing as a good guy, you know? Like Splatterhouse, you're playing as a heroic character, as the happy video game nerd would say. And like in Doom, you know, it's a violent game, but you're not one of the demons. You are, of course, Doom Guy. And even then, video game violence is a bit hilarious anyway, because it's just a bunch of ones and zeros. That's all this is ones and zeros and texture files and things of that nature. It's not real in any way, shape, or form. So, people complaining about video game violence really don't know what they're talking about, or they're showing some of their own internal biases. Ooh, we're getting fancy today. It's like, if, you know, shooting a Revenant here makes you want to go harm real people, you got problems more than just a fucking video game, I can tell you that. Alright, let's hope that there's no more deaths, but I bet there will be. Because, you know, they're coming from every angle, and you can't save because that'd be too easy. Because of course we can't fucking save. I think one of the more annoying enemies in the game is, of course, the Hell Knight. They take a lot of damage, but you don't really have a good quick kill weapon, which really does make for much more annoying combat. Now, I don't mind enemies having high hit points, but I do not like it when they just sponge bullets. You know, it really quite is annoying versus fun. There's a difference between a challenge and bullshit. There's a fine line between that. Try to get some splash damage behind him. See, like, he runs up here. I've got nothing that can really hurt him. And I've got the other enemies. I'm getting blocked by the wall. The shield guys, too, are kind of bullshit in many instances because they can tank so much. Now I'm stuck on the wall. Jump down. Okay, I will actually... I'm going to have to... There he is. I have to do... Okay, that's bullshit. Right there, that's bullshit. I should have been able to heal from that. Oh, this is going to piss me off. Because it already is. This, I think, is the worst part of the game. To me, it is just not fun. Now, I know there's people that will play the game, you know, like on Insane Nightmare, whatever, that's great. But from just someone who plays games for fun, it's just... I don't have a problem with difficulty. I have a problem when it's not a fun level of difficulty. Because it's not like it takes that much skill when it comes to this. It's like... It's not a skill-based problem. Of course, you're going to make mistakes in a game. But having to play the same part over and over again, it just... It grates. It really does. I don't want the whole last half of the Let's Play turned into one massive complaint fest. But you know what? If it's aggravating, it's aggravating. It's my opinion, and it's warranted. Now, it might be thinking, why not simply take the quad damage? Well, I want to save that for later in the fight when I really, truly need it. And so that is something they need for Doom 2 X2. You gotta have a weapon that can be a one-hit kill. Because you need that. These enemies take way too much damage because of the glory kill system. You need something that you can really just rely on. When I think of Quake 2, like when you gotta fight some of the big guys, you know, you have the Hyper Blaster and it can shred them pretty quickly. You know, that... Because the more damage these guys take, the more damage you take. It's like, I'm already down to 78 health, and I'm already running low on ammo for this weapon. And this is an important weapon. They need to be less bullet spongy. That is key. That is a big thing. And kill him, get some health. See, look. If I really want to take him out fast, and he does a lot of damage, and I can't just focus on him. I've got to focus on everyone else too. So that's just one. And see, look. I'm already really hurt. And I think you also lose health a little too quickly. I know the idea is that you can regain it quickly by utilizing the glory kill, but at the same time... And these fucking shield assholes. You're not always going to be able to get behind them. I guess it's the same way with the jackals in Halo, but I don't remember the jackals in Halo being that annoying. Except for those bloody sniper jackals. God. Okay, and I need to... Crap. Fuck. Swear a lot. And that's where the glory kill just fails, because I can't get to him in time to glory kill him. And punch him in the face. The commentary will resume, but I have not died. And I just hit the wall because I suck. He should not be able to do that much damage to me. God damn it! And now we get to go all the way back to the beginning because I made one tiny mistake and have to play it all the way through again. Are we having fun yet? What happened to manual saving? Because is that any more, you know, is that really satisfying to have to play it over and over again just until you either get lucky... Come on, come out here. Thankfully, this is the end of the level, so if... Got him. Got him. Please bring back manual saving. Because goddamn do I hate checkpoints. At least with Halo, if you play it Legendary. And of course I did not kill him in time, so of course I took a shitload of damage already. There's nothing more annoying than like when you have something annoying like this, to die literally within the first 5 seconds. Because like, this is, as much as I will complain until I beat this part of the level, I want to point this out though. You notice I'm not stopping. So it's that right kind of difficulty. It's the right kind of difficulty where you'll smack the keyboard, you'll throw the controller out the window, but you won't. But you'll go outside, pick the controller up off the lawn, come back inside, and try to beat it because it's that fun. If it wasn't fun, you know, I wouldn't still be doing it. I would say, fuck this game, I'm never gonna play it again. And that's the thing. That's where you know you got the proper difficulty. Is that people will yell at it, swear at it, and all the rest, but they won't stop playing it. They'll keep playing it because they enjoy the punishment. They enjoy being 50 Shades of Grey. Those imps do way too much damage, though. Like, they should not be able to hurt me that bad because they're moving around way too fast. But that's how you know you got a good game. When you will smash the controller, but then you'll go out and buy another one to try to beat it. So there, before I get all the negative comments, it's still a good level of difficulty. Thankfully, this is actually this is just one of the more difficult parts of the game. And the rest of it is not that bad. Although I say that now, and I could be wrong. But hey, at least it's a satisfying level of difficulty, regardless of what I might say. I think that jump attack is probably one of the more annoying ones. Yeah, I could be able to jump that one, motherfucker. And at least it's BFG Division playing. Yeah, how about I introduce you to my chainsaw? Okay, wait a minute. Pop in there. Portal 2. Okay, and jump up here. Quad damage! Fucking jackal. Come on, come on, come on. Where is she? That's accessed! Why I hate Glory Kill! Fuck! See, that's where Glory Kill fails. That's where it fails. Right there. So close. So fucking close. Alright, let's keep doing it. Until we win, after all. Although I never watched that show. Alright, already off to a bad start. Come on. Come on. I'm just going to let the pinkies kill him. Assuming they ever do the charge attack. Okay, you gotta love that. They just fucking... Of course he charges me. Of course he does that, but... Okay, let's just walk past him like so. But that is where Glory Kill fails. It's right there. Okay, was that really that fun to get killed by that guy because I got there a fraction of a second too late? I'm not saying they... I'm not saying they gotta get rid of it, but that is really where that whole thing fails, you know? And of course I'm just gonna get hit by that because this is gonna... Here's hoping this is the final victory. Here's hoping, but it probably won't be. Already missed with that, so might as well just reload the save now. At least they couldn't. At least that wasn't a telefrag. If that had been a telefrag, I think I would just split this into 2 parts. Okay, I might just start using the plasma rifle. But even then, not the plasma rifle, the railgun here. But even then, it doesn't do that much damage either. Well, that did 1 hit. That wasn't 1 hit there, I will admit. But what if I wasn't close enough to get him? What would happen then? Yeah, think about it. Look at how many rockets he tanks. Look at that. That is way too many rockets. It's like way too many rockets. You should take maybe 2. I can't imagine what it is on Nightmare. You literally just start the game dead. That's just what happens. But I have played Halo on Legendary. Halo 1 at least. That was only co-op. This would be very much a co-op level, I think. Because I think there's just a little too many enemies here for it to be truly fun. This is one of those where you have to get it perfect. Or if you fuck up once, you might as well just reload the goddamn save. Come on, shoot him in the back, shoot him in the back, smack him. Fucking Hell Knight. And smack him. Oh, just now the song has started, so... I can shoot him. And, well, you might be invincible while you are doing the glory kill. There is always the problem of you'll be out of position when you get out of it, so you still end up taking a shitload of damage. And smack him! Okay, have the Cacodemon spawned in yet? Nope. I need something that doesn't have as much. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on. What the hell is that? Why can't... It does not... you know, the weapons do not cycle in any logical fashion. At all. Shit, well, I'm out of energy for that. I don't know if I'll be right where... Haha! Fuck you! Okay, I need to use... I got all the ammo but what I want or need. Okay, I need to really focus on trying to thin out some of the basics. Okay, where is... I think I probably use the rocket. Try to do some splash damage from the roof with that guy. Is he dead yet? No, he's not, of course. Fucking imps. Granada! Okay, now try that. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Shit. Fight. Fuck! Fuck! And see, that's the point right there. See, it was going really good right up until that moment. And now, all the way back. See what I'm talking about when I say I hate checkpoints? That's it. If I'd been able to quick save, I wouldn't have that far back to go, now would I? But there you go. Right there. Right there. That is exactly why checkpoints are a idiotic design. Whoever came up with them is a fool, deserving only hatred and derision both. Yes. Oh, I'm probably gonna die. You know, I might as well just let him kill me. I might as well just do that. Why not? Why not? I wonder if the checkpoint adventure guy is watching. It's like, well, fuck you, General. I just thought it was a good idea. It's like, oh, well, you know what? Screw you anyway. Now watch, he has like some sort of really depressing backstory. How could you, General? How could you? Well, I didn't know. You know what? Screw him anyway. Oh, we haven't seen this before. Oh, yeah. I mean, having so much fun now. But see, look. It was going so good right up until... This is going to be a massively long episode, too. But, you know, this will allow you to see why checkpoints are a bad idea. Now, see, thankfully there is a mid-level checkpoint. Now, I know that there's an obvious complaint about my complaints, and that's, well, what if you played it Ultra Nightmare, where you die once and you go all the way back? Well, you know what? That's not fun to me. That's not some... That's more for bragging rights. That is not fun. I'm here to play a game, not, you know, analyze the damage statistics of every single enemy so I can possibly win the super insanely unfun difficulty level. But you know what? If you want to do it, more power to you. That's why YouTube wasn't invented. It's going to be all in one episode. How long is this episode gone on? Let's take a look, shall we? 1 hour. We are at 1 hour, ladies and gentlemen. But you know what? We're going to keep doing it until we win. So if you want to just skip it, go right ahead. This is why I hate this level. I utterly hate this level. I despise this level. This is driving me positively insane. Okay, let's kill these guys. Oh, already off to a bad start because I did not hit him in the back. I'm probably going to die. Yep, there we go. Wonderful. I'm having a great old time now. Smack that keyboard. Show it who's boss. Because, like, you already gone an hour. You don't want to have to see the other half. I mean, we're almost to the end. Almost to the end. Wasted a goddamn hour on this fucking level. But that's gaming for you. But I played on an easier level. You know what? Why don't you go fuck yourself? That's what you should do. But I can't imagine anyone actually saying that. But if they did... Missed. Already off to a bad start. There he goes. There we go. Perfect. Of course, then again, I can console myself that at least I am doing better than Polygon, because Polygon would just be staring into a wall right now. And shoot him. Manual saving, please. Can't I just fucking quick... Let me tell you this. If I could have quick saved, I would be done by now. But no. Because of the fact that I can't quick save, I'm doing this over and over and over again for an hour. An hour. An hour. Also, the weapons suck in this game. I despise this game. At least I will until I win. And it'll be good again. It probably also doesn't help that, like, the AC isn't on. And it's actually being recorded in February. We gotta remember, this is February in Texas, meaning it's not really cold. So, like, it's really hot, but I can't stop recording, because if I do, it has to be split into 2 episodes. So it's like I'm fucking covered in sweat. So it's altogether unpleasant. But this, ladies and gentlemen, is thankfully a true-to-life gaming experience. Shit. Hit him with the barrels. This episode is going to take so long to upload, though. It's going to be like 20 gigabytes. Thankfully, this is H.265, so it won't be that big. It's like I'm not even having fun. If I'd have been telefragged right there, I don't know what I would do. I'd probably just I would cancel the Let's Play and never play this game again. You know, I actually did rage uninstall because of this level. I was replaying it again. I was having the exact same problem for some reason, and I rage uninstalled it. I just straight up rage uninstalled the game. I did not mean to slice him up. I meant to get this guy. Oh, can I kill it? Yes! Not that it matters, but I did it anyway. Throw a grenade. Should land right behind him and blow him up. Fucking jackal piece of fuck. Sad part is, I intended to record like 3 episodes today, and that ain't happening. Okay, I am like trapped in here. No, I'm not. I can get out. Wait a minute. I got the BFG. Wow, brilliant. So it's actually playing this harder than I... Well, you know what? I don't feel bad, you know? I do not feel bad about that. It's good to save the BFG anyway. Ooh, can I get it? Did I get him? But I keep hitting the wall. Finally. Okay, we might make it to the checkpoint. Mainly because I used the BFG. I remembered that it was there. But I can just picture the comments like, use the... Oh, if I die from this guy, I swear. Oh, please tell me. Oh, thank you, Ismir. Okay, when... There's going to be one more thing, but it won't be that hard. Let's use the BFG on him. Oh, I have to actually hit this. I hope I don't lose the Quake power-up. No, I got it. No, come on, jump up there, asshole. Let me introduce you to my less than little friend. That's such a waste, but I don't care. If I died now, I would just hurl the keyboard two inches in front of me. Oh, is that over yet? Is it over? Please tell me it's over. Oh. Oh. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was something. I don't really feel that feeling of happiness and joy. That really pissed me off. That is one of the hardest parts of the game, in my opinion. Hopefully we won't be dying too much, and hopefully the next episodes aren't going to be as long. Oh, man. All right. Well, I do not despise the game. I do not hate the guy who made checkpoints. But goddamn, was that hard. All right. I'm GeneralLotz, wishing you good checkpoints and good Doom 2016. Whatever makes you happy.